Okay, before we get into this next video, have we got a deal for you, right, Daniel?
That's right.
So Daniel, our CEO, he's been working on this deal with Decocrete, whom most of you know. I enjoy traveling to Ohio each year to attend their Decorative Concrete Expo. It's coming up once again, March 14th and 15th. It is a Thursday and a Friday. Thursday, it is from 8 to 5. Friday, it is from 8 to 4. So you see down in the description, there is a link to register. It'll take you over here to their website. So over on their website, it explains the 4 different ticket packages that they're offering, from a basic package all the way up to the Hall of Fame package. It really depends on how much you want to do and honestly how much fun you want to have. It is definitely worth your time to go ahead and pre-register. The basic package right now, pre-registration cost is only $25. And not only that, you get a $25 product voucher, so if you buy something, you get your money back. At the door, you're going to pay $50 again, so you're going to save at least $25 to go ahead and pre-register. Not only that, when you register, you can enter a promo code Easy Money, and we are going to do a meetup there Thursday at 10 o'clock in the panel discussion area, real similar to what we did at World of Concrete. And the first 100 people to enter the promo code Easy Money, I'm going to have hats for, same hats that we had in Las Vegas. And if you don't use my promo code, that's fine too. We're going to have stickers for you, so I'll have something at least for everybody. Right after the meetup, which is at 10 o'clock on Thursday, at 11 o'clock, there's a panel discussion, which is also going to be interesting. It's going to be myself and Mike Day. It's going to be Rick Thomas and Grubmud and probably Jeff from Decocrete. He usually hosts those panel discussions. So it's going to be a great time. I hope to see you guys there. Go ahead, click the link down below, and I hope to see you guys there. So Daniel, how was that?
Not the greatest.
One last thing before we get into this video, I was actually hesitant in even posting this for a couple different reasons. One is it's not my regular style of video. This goes from a Monday to a Monday. It's an entire week. It's kind of like a vlog. It's me just dealing with some issues, and that kind of brings up the second reason why I didn't want to post it, and it was because I really wasn't myself, not only because of the issue that you'll see in the video, but there's just several other dynamics that I'm kind of wrestling with right now in my mind. So, I wasn't necessarily myself. So I know you guys will beat me up in the comments either way, and that's all right. But I decided to go ahead and post it, and just show what's going on, keep you guys updated. I know there's some things in there that you'll find interesting, but also keep in mind, it's not just to make videos for other people. This really kind of documents this whole journey of developing land and putting commercial buildings on it. So if you don't like listening to me talk, this is not the video for you. But like I said, I think most of you will find it pretty interesting. How much garbage do we make? Good work. Man, look at that. That is impressive. Good morning. It is Monday, which is not my favorite. So we got back from the World of Concrete, and as soon as we got back, I repacked my things, and I headed to Oshkosh, Wisconsin with a couple of my daughters and my wife. There was a parent-teen retreat. Oshkosh is a cool place. One of the things that we got to do is go to the EAA museum, the aviation museum, and that is very interesting. Even if you're not really into aviation like me, I'm not really into it, I still found it very interesting. But it feels really weird to be back in town. I haven't been here for over a week, so nothing super noteworthy today that we're going to make a video of. However, first thing I'm going to do is just go check everything out. I've been away from everything for a week. I'm going to go to the yard. I'm going to go to the winter shop and just check up on everything. Nate the Great has been working on the F350. He found the problem. He might actually be there when we get there this morning. But the good news is it wasn't that big of a deal. It's not going to be like a super expensive fix. It was just a sensor, like I kind of thought all along. And some of you were exactly right. I talked to a guy on the phone. He said what the problem was going to be, and he was exactly right. So we're going to go check everything out. And then at 10:30, this is kind of the big deal of the day, is I have a meeting with the builder and Menomonee Falls. So this is the first meeting where we're going to actually submit the plans, I believe. It's a second meeting overall. The first one was just a preliminary meeting where I showed them the plans, a couple of the guys, and they gave me like approval to, you know, take the next steps with a builder. And now it's starting to get serious. I promised in the beginning when I made an offer on the land that I was going to take you guys along for every step of the way, and all these meetings and permit approvals and stuff are part of the process. I'm very interested in this because I've never been through it before. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not going to film in the meeting obviously, but I'm going to let you know how things went. Oh man, I appreciate these guys, but I'm glad that's not my job. Poopity doopity. Morning, Missy. Good. I missed you guys. I've been gone for a week. Yep. See you tomorrow. Thank you. So in my mind last night, I was going to get up early and go do my workout. But this morning, my mind said, not today. It's really hard when you get out of your routine of everything to get back in it. So, I mean, I got up this morning. I was like, nah, not a chance. So tomorrow the guys are coming in, so I'm kind of forced to get back on my regular schedule, so that'll be good. I haven't really eaten terrible at all the whole time. Ate a little bad this weekend, but not terrible. Just pulled up to the yard. Everything looks exactly the same as when we left, except there's a lot less snow. So the weather was crazy. You guys know when we had all the snow, we had about a week of below zero temperatures. And then when we were in Las Vegas, we had just a little bit of snow the one day, but after that, it warmed up and we got a whole bunch of rain. It was in the upper 30s. This week, it's pretty warm right now. Not warm, it's, you know, with 20 something, upper 20s, 29. But all week it's supposed to be in the 30s above freezing. So pretty crazy the weather here in Wisconsin, how it goes back and forth. Yeah, this ain't bad at all. So tomorrow I want to take that trailer and take the excavator. I want to start working on the excavator. It opened and we got power. Oh, everything is good here. All right, I'm gonna go to the winter shop now, and Nate the Great might be there. He said he's gonna be here Monday morning working on the truck, so that'd be cool to talk to him if he is there. Ask him what was actually wrong with the truck exactly. I just knew it was gonna do that. I knew it was gonna do that. Perfect. Okay, let's head to the winter shop. Okay, that can't be legal. Man, it's coming down a row of like 25-foot long pipes. Okay, truck is still in here and it's clean. It's nice and clean. Brand new batteries, and I don't think Nate's quite done yet. I see a pigtail right here. I think this is where that sensor plugs in. It's the SCP sensor. I forgot. But anyways, it's a sensor, and there was oil that pushed through the sensor and messed up the wires, and that's what it was. So whoever said that, you were right. It wasn't the cam sensor. All right, I'm gonna go to the old yard and make sure everything's fine there. The skid steer is still there, not stolen, and plugged in and ready to go in case we need to salt again. Because tomorrow they're talking about maybe some freezing rain. The temperature is gonna be like right at that point, and we're supposed to get some precipitation. So we're gonna head over there and then head to the meeting.
I twisted my knee real bad Friday.
You did?
Well, you know, we were putting a bed on that guy's truck that bought the bed.
Yeah.
And his truck is lifted, and so my mind was thinking getting out of my truck.
Yeah.
So I'm at this height, so I can drop down, because I mean I should be like this close to the ground. Well, I was 6 inches higher, and it was just enough to give me a tweak on my knee, and I was like, oh! I got a brace on here now.
Oh, really?
I actually went to the doctor Saturday morning.
Well, you're getting old. You got to be careful, man. You can't kick. Your knee's busted. You can't even kick me if you wanted to. All right, I gotta run. I'll talk to you later. Just pulling into the old yard. Make sure everything's in order over here. Mechanics working outside. All right. Bobcat's plugged in. Truck's here. I just got off the phone with my attorney, and he's making a non-disclosure agreement because I have my prototype tool ready to go into the machine shop, but I want to make sure that the machine shop guy doesn't share the design or the information with anybody. Yeah, everything looks good here. Okay, it's 10:22, just pulling up to City Hall for this meeting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about the whole project, but I'm nervous about a few things in particular. Obviously, finances being one of them. And the city could, you know, make it do things that would be really expensive and maybe even put this thing out of reach for me. So that's what I'm most nervous about. I'm also nervous about the schedule and being able to get my pond dug and, you know, the building pad in at the right time and all that to work out while I'm still trying to do, you know, my own jobs and run my own business. So, well, I'll get back to you guys when the meeting's over. Hopefully it goes good. Okay, I am back at the yard. Bad news and more bad news. So the first bit of bad news is that I messed up, and the meeting is actually next week Monday. It's not today. So that might be considered bad news, but this is interesting. So I went in there and I sat down and I started to get curious if the meeting was actually today, because it was right around 10:30. The builder wasn't there yet. And I was like, man, did I mess up? Because we made the meeting when I was in Las Vegas. I really wasn't paying that close attention. And I just had it in my head that it was today. I'm sitting down in the bench and I hear guys talking, and I hear the word victory, and I hear the word violation, and I hear them talking about going and taking pictures. So I stood up and I'm like, I think these guys are talking about me. It was an incredible coincidence that I was there at that exact moment. Oh, good or bad, I don't know. So I said, guys, are you talking about me? I'm right here. I'm the owner of Victory. So the two guys walk over and we start talking. And apparently, they were talking about this rectangle of gravel that I put down. So this was you know, there's a road through here, still concrete, and then you guys know it was just all dirt and it was just a mess. And I put down gravel so we could drive our trucks in here. And apparently I shouldn't have put down the gravel, because the gravel is, and I didn't even know this, and it doesn't actually make any sense to me whatsoever, but the gravel is considered an impervious material, meaning that water doesn't go through it and it just drains on the surface. anyways, long story short, they considered it impervious material, and I was supposed to get a permit to put this gravel in, and I didn't get a permit. I had no idea. Who would have ever thought that you couldn't put gravel on your own property? But so that's one thing. And then the second thing, so there's a couple things with me in particular, is I make videos of everything. I have certain people that don't like me, certain people that might have called the city on me. The guys at the city might have watched the videos themselves. I don't know. And I know it was a risk, but that blue shed right there, you know, I didn't get a permit or anything. I even said that on the video, and I probably should have. So that one was on me. That one was a little bit of a risk, but I kind of figured, like, you know, I'm building here. Actually, there's going to be a building right here. All this stuff's eventually going to get tore down, and what's really the big deal? It's kind of like a, you know, it's almost like a temporary job trailer, sort of, kind of. It's a hub for all the building that we're going to do here. And I was like, you know what, I don't think anybody's going to say anything about it, but I was wrong. Overall, I don't think it's a really huge deal, but they did say I was in violation, especially because of the stone, which I would have never guessed that in a million years, that you couldn't put gravel down over the mud in your own parking lot. So I'm going to submit those things, but I told them, I was like, you know, we're going to put a pond up in like 2 months, and that's the big deal, is where the water is going to go in there from their perspective. So we're going to meet with them next week for the actual meeting. I'm going to fill out these permits and, you know, do what they ask me. I'm not trying to be difficult. You know, I'm not trying to get any battles with the city. I like Menominee Falls. This is a great area. I'm just trying to take something that's, you know, that was a giant mess and make something nice out of it. And I've never done this before, so I'm going to make some mistakes, obviously, along the way. Hopefully the gravel wasn't that big of a mistake, and they'll understand, because, you know, like I said, we're putting a pond in just in a couple months, so the water runoff's gonna head towards the pond anyway. So that's the update with that. So no good news, I guess, from that, but the actual meeting is next week, and we'll talk more. I'll submit this stuff, and then, you know, just see where it goes from there. Apparently there's another lady that'll get involved, and I don't know, hopefully they're understanding, and hopefully we can maintain a really good relationship through this whole process. So I'm gonna go get some lunch. I am gonna do a workout today just to make myself feel better. I have a little bit of a nervous stomach right now just from all that, you know, and I know this is only the first kind of thing that's gonna happen. I'm sure there's gonna be more. It's gonna be interesting. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. At the gym, I'm gonna work out my nervous stomach. Mistakes already. I guess that's what you go through when you've never done something before. Bigger problems when you do bigger things. So that's kind of the deal. Okay, I think the last time that I was with you, I was heading into the gym. I had a good workout. I did legs. There's nothing like some squats and leg press to take the edge off. I came home, I've been editing, and I got an email. So I have an update. I got an email right away from the city of Menominee Falls. And they basically, after I talked to them, they must have ran right over there and started documenting things, because they sent me an email saying that I need to get a zoning and occupancy permit application filled out, sent to them. There's going to be a double fee because I put up the building or the shed without a permit, and who really knows what they're going to make me do with that. That's the accessory structure, they're calling it. Our zoning team will review and follow up regarding further steps necessary to bring your property into compliance with the zoning codes and so forth. And they did note also that says we documented a large temporary sign that has been installed without a permit. Signs of this size require a sign permit. So they're talking about the little material, cloth material victory sign that I screwed up to the post there at the entrance. So getting a taste of what I'm dealing with. I'm starting to not feel good about this whole process already, to be honest. This was a bad day. All right, I'm gonna get some dinner, and I'm gonna continue editing. I have a lot of office work to do. Good morning. It is 10 to 8. I'm sitting right in front of the gym, and I told the guys to stay home today. So I'm gonna go get this workout in and grab some coffee, and then head back to the office and start working on that stuff. All right, I did my workout, which was good, really good. It's amazing when you're upset how much stronger you are. I remember when I was 16 years old, I went to go take my driver's test and I failed. I kind of had a older guy and he wasn't in a good mood, and we went out, everything was fine. He told me to parallel park next to a car. I pulled up next to the car and he looks at me and he says, "You pulled up." I didn't even start to parallel park. I just pulled up next to the car and he said, "You're too close to the car, you failed, drive back." And I was so mad. I guess you could say I was freaking out. I used to lift weights in my basement and I was so mad. I went home and I grabbed the weight that I would usually bench press, and I was just so angry. I was just pumping it. I was mad. Too bad you can't get that kind of strength. You can't call on that strength anytime you want. It has to be kind of natural. So what I'm doing here is the lot line in the back here. They want to know how far that shed is off the lot line. It's 10 feet. And then they want to know, well, they want to know how far it is off each lot line. I don't know from the front and that side, but the back and this side I can figure out. And then from there, I'm going to give it to my builder or my civil engineer so he can actually place the building where it is on this property, the temporary storage shed, so I can give that to the city and see what they say about that. And then I have to measure this rectangle of gravel. So they want to know how much gravel I put in. Okay, got all the measurements. Go back to the house now, try to make some calls and see what I can do. All right, it is about lunchtime, and I text my builder this morning after I talked to you guys, and I'm gonna meet with him. I said, "Hey man, I need to talk to you. Can you meet me for lunch? Got some problems and some issues." And he's like, "Sure." All right, I know the light is not great in here, but I met with the builder and that went pretty good. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Lots of questions that still need to be answered that we won't really know until the meeting with the city on Monday. I have a lot of questions regarding the retention pond and all the requirements with that. I can't even really get a bid on the retention pond yet because I don't have the details. I don't know the details. So there's all that. The builder said, let's just, do the permits and, pay them the permit fees and all that, submit the drawing. He's going to get the drawing that the city wants for the little shed that I built. And we'll get that all submitted and, just see how it goes. I calmed down a little bit, although I did go to the gym afterwards to take off a little bit more nervous energy. But, I was just thinking, like, what's the absolute worst that could happen? And I guess the worst that could happen is, the whole project gets canceled and I have to sell the property, So is that really the end of the world? Not really. I mean, that would be hard emotionally, obviously, but so I still have a ton of office work to do tomorrow, and I'm really undecided whether to bring the guys in or not. But either way, I'll give you guys a little update tomorrow.
You're welcome.
Construction guys are suckers for samples. Morning. Good. How are you?
Hi.
Good. How's it going?
Good morning. It is Friday, which is my favorite, and I'm just pulling up to this job right here. You guys might remember this one. We just poured it late fall, and the builder called me a couple days ago, and he says it's cracked. So that's obviously a problem, considering that it's brand new. Well, if I had to guess, I would say it's going to be over here in this area. Okay, there it is. It's from the dumpster truck, obviously. So it's been really warm out. The ground's not frozen, and it's obviously very mushy. So when the dumpster truck rolled off the edge of the driveway, it broke the edge of the driveway. Way too heavy to drive a big truck over the edge like that, especially when the ground is all mush. So I'm going to tell the builder I can cut that little piece off, square it off, and fill it back in. That would be option number one. Option number 2 would be to pull that last panel out and re-pour it. Oh boy. There's the Billards over there. I gotta go say hi to those guys. They're pretty excited to see me. Stop back at the house. I'm gonna grab some hats for those guys. They were pretty excited about seeing me, so I don't want to go over there and not give them anything. My house is only like 7 or 8 minutes away from there, so no big deal. It was funny when we went to Las Vegas, you know, Eric and Francisco, they made their own videos, and I was reading through some of their comments, and there's a guy in there that said, "Oh, Ryan's only giving away hats because he wants people to wear his hats around the world of concrete." Some of the ignorance in the comments section is staggering. I gave away hats at the World of Concrete because I wanted to show appreciation for people that follow me. I could care less if they wear their hats at World of Concrete. Most of the people at the World of Concrete, they know me already. What does that benefit me? Like, none. Who cares? People wear my hats at the World of Concrete. I also saw a comment that said something about, "Oh, Ryan took his guys to the World of Concrete just for a tax write-off." I just hope that someday the people that write the uninformed and ignorant comments like that, I hope that they go into business someday so they can understand what a tax write-off is. It's amazing to me that some people think that a tax write-off is something that a business purchases, like a truck or, you know, equipment or a trip, and somehow, you know, we take the invoice of what we paid for that truck. Let's just say it's a truck, it's a $50,000 truck, and we send that invoice to the government that we paid $50,000, and the government sends us a check back for $50,000. So the truck was free because it's a write-off, right? Anybody that ever says anything about a business, well, they just bought that because it's a tax write-off, you can automatically assume that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I brought you guys some hats.
I recognize the truck, man.
Thank you. There you go.
How you doing?
Good.
Thank you.
guys-
Easy money, what'd I tell you?
Okay, all right.
You guys ain't done yet?
No.
This should be done, man.
Should be easy money, huh?
Yeah, right.
You guys pouring some stuff out here or what?
No, we poured that driveway a while back, and the dumpster guy drove on it and cracked it. Drove it.
Well, have a good one, man.
All right,
Thank
see you guys. Yeah, good to meet you.
Celebrity around here, huh?
Well, I came to look at the cracked driveway. I bought that property, you know, on Menominee Falls, that 5 acres. So
Yeah, at the end of call, right?
yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
All right, as long as you take a proactive stance.
Yeah.
Ask them, you know, just, you know, hey, sorry, I apologize. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, just tell me what I got to do.
I'm not trying to fight them.
No, that's the point.
That's what I would intended to do.
Yeah,
Just,
that's
well,
all
what do you
you
want me
gotta
to do? I'll do
Just,
it. You know.
Just tell me what I got to do here, and I'll do it. If you know, first of all, will you allow me to have this?
Yeah.
You know, and if you will, what do I have to do this? Otherwise, I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, long-term goal is, and then but be upfront with them what your short-term goal is, what you can and can't do. So then they just get it.
All right, I just pulled over here to the yard, and looking through the email from the city, I actually couldn't open the attachment on my phone, but I looked at it on my desktop, and they have pictures of everything, and apparently this sign is a big deal to not have a permit for, so I'm just gonna make this easy. Hopefully they don't say anything about my lions. They did take a picture of the lion, but they didn't say anything about the lion. Could be a violation, I'm not even sure. But they were a gift, so I'm gonna try to hold my ground on the lions. And then yeah, they took pictures of the Mac, because you're not supposed to park on your own land until you have occupancy. And then the equipment, you're not supposed to put anything on your land at all. You can't store anything, you can't put a piece of equipment, anything like that. without occupancy. Talking to the builder, it made me feel better because he was like, well, just do what they say, do the permits. And he said stuff like this happens all the time. It's not that big of a deal most of the time. And I was like, all right. The victory sign got defeated. Okay, I'm at Odyssey Restaurant and I'm meeting Carlito, and after lunch I'll explain what we were talking about. All right, Carlito's leaving and huh? Bye. Yeah, bye. So Carlito's leaving and I'm out of here as well. I met with Carlito for lunch here because Carlito I just hired full-time for the 2024 season. So Carlito's on board. It was it's a 1 year, $2.3 million deal. And we didn't even negotiate, we just shook hands. No, just kidding, obviously. It wasn't a $2.3 million deal, but he is on board for this year. So I pretty much have the team all together. I'm just looking for one finisher, like a really good finisher, somebody that I don't really need to guide. They just, you know, like Little Ray last year. He came on the job site and he grabs his knee boards, he pounds pins, he knows what's going on. So I'm looking for one guy like that, and that's it. I think we're set. Just got to sign a whole bunch of work and we'll be in good shape. Good morning. It is Monday, which you already know it's not my favorite. So last week I basically just stayed home. I did office work. I caught up on a bunch of stuff. I wasn't really in a great mood last week. I didn't really want to work with the guys too much. I just was thinking a lot about, worst case scenario and just changing plans in my head. Like, if this happens, I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do that. So I got everything printed off and I'm kind of prepared with what I'm going to say, when they bring up different stuff. And I talked to a good friend at my church he's a little bit of an older gentleman. He's very intelligent and he's been through a lot of stuff like this. And he said, don't go in with an argumentative attitude. Just go in and, ask them, what you need to do to get things back in compliance. And he thinks that everything's going to be fine. So I'm still not feeling great, but today's the meeting. So 10:30, we're going to meet with the guys at the city and just see how it goes. I did want to mention also, I did post it on Facebook, but Big Ray did agree to come back to work for the 2024 season. So that's a pretty big deal. So as far as I know, as of today, as of right now, everybody's coming back. And we're going to have the same crew as we did last year. I'm going to be looking for one guy that's a finisher who also holds a CDL. Doesn't necessarily have to be the best finisher, but has to be somewhat of a finisher, because Ryan Jr. is going to be in and out. He's going to be traveling with a ministry team, so I'm only really going to have him part-time. So I'd like to get a full-time guy in that position, but that's pretty much it. So as far as the season's going, that's looking really good. It's just the rest of the stuff. Morning.
Good morning.
That
How are
looks
you?
really good, but I'm on a diet.
Oh, stop.
Morning, Izzy.
Good morning.
All right, thank you.
You too.
All right.
Take care.
All
See
right.
you next time.
Okay, I'm gonna go sit somewhere and look over these plans again. I'm planning on working out a little bit later today. I have been working out a lot. Last week I worked out 2 times every single day, once in the morning, once after lunch. And believe it or not, some of my strength is returning. I'm actually feeling pretty good. My cardio has improved a lot, and I'm talking a lot. So maybe this summer you'll get a little less heavy breathing on the camera. We'll see. All right, I'm just pulling into the village hall and I am nervous. I'm actually more nervous for this meeting than I used to be when I would kickbox. So I used to get into the ring across from a guy that wanted to punch a hole in my face, and I'm more nervous for this meeting than I was back then. So I don't know if my builder's here yet. I don't see him, but regardless, I'm gonna go in and sit down and just let him know that I'm here and I'm ready. Well, I just got done with the meeting from the city, and it went super good. I'm in a very good mood right now. The property's not for sale. I'm keeping it. So I went in there, my builder had beat me there, and the salesman brought the guy that does all the permits for their company. So it was my salesman, him, and then the main guy from the city, the guy that works, I think, on the engineering side on the city, and then there was a lady, I'm not sure exactly what her title was, but anyways, sat down, and right off the bat, the main guy, you know, he gets right into the violations, and I was like, this is not going good already. This is gonna go terrible. He said, you put the gravel there, and you know, I put this thing up, and I knew this was a risk. You know, I brought this shed, for those of you that are new to the channel, this shed here was sitting, part of this shed was sitting at my old yard. We actually moved it over here on the back of a truck, and then I added a portion of it on, and then we added the overhang. We painted it, made it look really nice and all that. I knew it was a risk. I knew I wasn't supposed to do that, and I even told the guys that. I was like, I didn't know anything about the gravel. Dad, I thought you could put gravel down on your own land and park your trucks. I was wrong about that, but I was ignorant to that. So you know, we're talking, and he brings up all this stuff, and I started talking to the engineer guy because he was more concerned like about the gravel, because gravel is considered an impervious surface. So I started to tell him, like, you know, back in that whole area there, that was like a sandy gravel mix. I moved that all over here. There was an area of gravel over there which I turned to dirt, and he really wasn't like paying that close attention to what I was saying. And finally he was like, listen, he said, we know that you're going to develop the land, you're going to put a building up. We're not super concerned about that right now, because the main issue is, you know, getting the buildings and then the retention pond and all that. And I was like, he said, I'm not going to beat you up over that. So when he said that, I kind of calmed down just a little bit. I was like, okay, they're not here to beat me up. So we started talking then at that point about the building, and they asked me like what my plans were. You know, after building one, how long was it going to take for me to put up the second building and the third and maybe the fourth. And I was just very, very honest about everything and how long I felt that it was going to take to actually get all these buildings made, which is several years. And like the mood was like pretty good. The main guy he seemed like he was tough but fair, and the lady was really nice, and the engineer guy was really nice. He seemed very practical, and they wanted some certain measurements and some certain things that aren't on the drawing put on the drawing. They wanted the landscape change just a little bit. So the civil engineer, he wasn't there, but he has some work to do. So we're going to submit on February 21st, I think is the deadline. You guys will probably see this video around then, but we're going to submit the plans. And man, it was all positive. Like, they were all positive about everything, and I was just shocked. And at the end, the main guy stayed. He's like, I want to talk to you about the issues, the current violations, the gravel and the building. So initially last Monday, when I was there on accident, total coincidence, I'm glad I was there though, it worked out good. He seemed like he was going to be really tough, and I was going to have a big problem. But after the meeting and going through everything else, he actually turned out to be a super nice guy, very reasonable, and he made me fill out the permits and pay for the permits and stuff like that. And man, it was really good. Like, I think I projected onto them what I thought they were going to be like, and I just got really negative, man. All of last week after the meeting with him, I was just not in a good place. You know, I was just thinking, man, all of this, I could have just wasted all my time. It's not just the time. It's like, you know, I had put a lot of thought into my future here and what things were going to look like and what I was going to do with it. So I've been thinking all this stuff through for a long time. And I was like, man, all that could just be history, and I'll sell this place, and somebody else can deal with them, and the city's going to be such a pain. And I was wrong. I was worried about I really was worried for no reason, which is what happens most of the time when you worry. When things finally wash out, you're like, man, why was I so worried? And thankfully, that's what happened here. So I am, you know, intending on moving forward. We're going to submit the plans on the 21st. I have an excavator that knows me, and we've been talking real small excavator, but this is the type of work he does, and he's gonna come in and give me a bid. I have another excavator, I have two, but I'm probably gonna use the smaller guy more than likely, because I just like small companies, and that's the way that it is. So I guess that's it for now. Tomorrow I'm going to bring the guys in, and we're actually going to get some work done. There's several things that we need to do. I got to go look at some more damage. I just got an email from the condos, and apparently somebody hit the garage with one of the skid loaders. So I got to go look at that damage and figure out somebody to repair that for us. So all right, well, nothing but good news today. Later this week, there's going to be a guest appearance, which you guys will be interested in. All right, I'm going to end this video because it's been like a week. I haven't made a video because I just haven't felt like it, because this really was just this was just taking all my attention. I have been editing videos since the last time I talked to you in my office, and I'm just pulling into the winter shop, so I'm going to wrap up the video with this. Nate the Great wanted to meet me here because he has my invoice. He wants his money because he fixed the F350, which is good because now we can ask him what he fixed on it. I know it was a sensor, but he did some other stuff as well. Nate the Great. All right. Plus I owe MacGyver his rent money too, which I'm sure he'll be texting me anytime now.
How's it going, Ryan?
Good, how are you? Oh, you got your little doggy?
Yeah, I just gotta have my protection on me.
Yeah, right. So, thanks for fixing the truck, man.
Yeah, not a problem.
Appreciate that.
Get it. So there was, I think the one that was killing it was your connection to the IPR valve. Your IPR valve basically lets your fuel flow to your injectors. Some mice or something got in there. I should have brought the pigtails. They were chewed on, damaged a little, so it wasn't getting a good 12 volts, and as soon as I touched the wires when I was down there, they just fell off. In the invoice I've got to replace the connector, but I also went like 12 inches to even more back of wiring to get that crusty wire out of there.
That's good.
So your IPR valve, wiring, and connector were repaired. And then your ICP sensor, which is basically an oil sensor. It has to see like 500 to 600 psi of oil pressure before it allows your injectors to fire.
Okay.
And I took the plug off the back, and it was just full of oil. It's hard to see. You can see it new.
Oh yeah.
That's your ICP sensor.
Okay.
So oil actually goes to that. And when you pull this,
you don't have to
plug
pull it
out,
out. Yeah.
it was full of oil. But
Okay.
I got a new one on there.
Well, at least that was easy to get to.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad, but of course there's no way to get a wrench in there, and I had to modify a crow's foot to get in there.
Really?
But then, because the old one didn't look like this. This new one, they have a socket right on the outside.
Yeah.
You can just run it on. The old one's a little different. So
Oh,
see
yeah.
all that stuff down there?
Yeah.
That's all foam and chewed up stuff.
Man, why do mice like to chew up rubber and foam and stuff? What's wrong with them?
They love it, man. They love it. Snowmobiles, lawnmowers, keep them sitting for a while. But that was a connector right there. I got it shined on that had damage to the ends of the wiring.
Yeah, they were probably going bad anyway. All right, thanks, man. Well, put me in your next slot. That would be great.
I will. I'll just get a hold of you. Meeting up probably around that Monday, February 19th, and I'll get you.
Yeah, I'll have everything ready for you. You know, whatever you need.
Absolutely.
All right, see you, man. Thank you. All right. Okay, I just gave MacGyver his wrench check. So MacGyver's happy. Nate the Great's happy. Menominee Falls is happy, which makes me very happy. I have to say today was probably one of the best Mondays that I've had in a really, really long time. So tomorrow, we're gonna be back here for at least part of the time. I don't even know what we're all doing. I got a bunch of stuff. I gotta figure out what I wanna do. But I'm gonna have all the guys come in, so it should be fun. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.